49er 53-man roster prediction for the offense after the Week 1 preseason game versus the Tennessee Titans. Right now on the 49er underscore News 24 show. If you guys need to share and subscribe, that's the video, and let's go right into it. Starting off with the quarterbacks after Week 1 preseason, Brock Purdy did not play. He's expected to play in the Week 2 matchup versus the New Orleans Saints. So he is going to stay put at QB1 for the 49ers. Nothing will ever change for the QB1 for the 49ers. It's going to always be Brock Purdy after these preseason games, only if Brock Purdy unfortunately suffers the injury, but he is going to be the QB1. QB2 is Brandon Allen. Before my 53-man roster for the offense prediction, I had Joshua Dobbs. That was before training camp even started, but now I have Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen balled out at the preseason, in the preseason versus the Tennessee Titans. I still think the QB2 battle versus Brandon Allen and Joshua Dobbs is very close, but I gave the edge to Brandon Allen after the Tennessee Titans preseason game. He threw for 98 passing yards, only on 13 passing attempts, completed 7 of his pass. It was a very calm game for Brandon Allen, very limited reps, but he showed out in his limited reps. Joshua Dobbs is the quarterback 3 for the 49ers. He really, in my opinion, did not start getting shown out until the fourth quarter. He really started getting in it in the fourth quarter. Joshua Dobbs threw for 146 passing yards, threw an interception, and I felt like we had something going with Joshua Dobbs in the fourth quarter. In the third quarter, not too much. Going into the running backs, Christian McCaffrey is your 49er running back 1. Of course, nothing will change there at running back 1, even though he is injured with a calf injury right now. Christian McCaffrey is still your 49er running back 1. Nothing changed after Week 1 preseason. Running back 2 did change though. Running back 2 before in my predictions was Elijah Mitchell. Now it is Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason had an amazing training camp, amazing OTAs. He's just been balling out this whole offseason, and he's balled out versus the Tennessee Titans in preseason Week 1. He only had 6 carries, but he had 34 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. His longest run in that game was a 13-yarder run. This was a very good game for Jordan Mason, and I currently have him as the 49ers running back 2. Elijah Mitchell out with an injury right now, but he is the 49ers running back 3. He is still a very good running back when he's healthy, but he has to be healthy. I still think the 49ers might trade Elijah Mitchell later in this offseason. Now the wide receivers. Wide receiver 1 is Brandon Ayuk. He is the best 49er wide receiver on the roster. He is the best pair wide receiver on the 49er roster, I should say, because Deebo Samuel is right behind him. Deebo Samuel is a all-around guy. He is wide receiver 2. The first 4 wide receivers did not change at all. We got Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 1, Deebo Samuel, wide receiver 2, Jawan Jennings, wide receiver 3, Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver 4. He's still out with an injury. Hopefully he could recover from his shoulder injury a lot quicker, and hopefully we see him in Week 3 preseason. Most likely we won't be, but hopefully we do. At wide receiver 5 is where it gets interesting. I have Chris Conley. I think Chris Conley could be a guy who makes this 49er roster. Instead of being a practice squad guy that comes up and down at game time, I think Chris Conley could be the 49er 1 veteran wide receiver that makes this 53-man roster for the Niners. In preseason, Week 1 versus the Titans, he had 2 catches for 30 yards. Looked very good. He's been balling out at 49ers training camp. Chris Conley is that 1 veteran guy who I believe will make the 49er roster. At wide receiver 6, I have Jacob Cowing. Jacob Cowing did not play at preseason Week 1, but the 49ers drafted Jacob Cowing in this NFL draft. I do not think the 49ers will cut Jacob Cowing. So he is the 6th wide receiver I have making the 53-man roster. Going into the tight ends, at tight end 1, we have George Kittle. Nothing changed there. George Kittle is the 49ers tight end 1 going into the season. I do think the 49ers will only bring 3 tight ends to the final 53-man roster. At tight end 2, I have Eric Sauber. Eric Sauber only caught 1 pass at preseason for 6 yards, but what Eric Sauber was doing in the preseason was being an extra lineman for the San Francisco 49ers. Eric Sauber had a pancake block to start off the preseason opening drive that had George Kittle on the interview. Very hyped for Eric Sauber. Eric Sauber is that tight end 2 who Kyle Shanahan is looking for. A guy who could block, a guy who could catch. He could do both those things, and he's an amazing blocker. That's a Kyle Shanahan tight end 2 right behind George Kittle who could do all those things, but better. Out tight end 3, we have Brandon Willis. Brandon Willis, just amazing training camp for Brandon Willis. Brandon Willis has came a long way from a rookie. He's been improving a lot this offseason, Brandon Willis is your tight end 3. He did not have no catches at 49er preseason week 1. Going into the O-line now for left tackles, we have Trent Williams at left tackle 1. He is currently holding out, but Trent Williams, when he gets his money, he will be the left tackle 1 for the 49ers. At left tackle 2, I have Jalen Moore. I think the 49ers will only be rocking a 2 left tackles on the 53-man roster for the final roster. Now the right tackles, I have Colton McKenzie and Chris Hubbard. At right guard, I have Ricky Dominic Pudding and Spencer Burford. At center, I have Jake Brendel and Nick Gazelle. And then left guard, I have Aaron Banks and John Feliciano. I think if John Feliciano could stay healthy, he could overtake Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks did not look good in preseason week 1 versus the Tennessee Titans. But just because John Feliciano did not play at all in that game, I have Aaron Banks ahead of him. But when John Feliciano is healthy, he could be a guy who takes Aaron Banks' spot. That is the way too early 49er 53-man roster predictions. Comment down below. What do you guys agree with or disagree? If you guys can share and subscribe, let's see you guys in the next one.